Good morning, everyone. Today, my name is Yesha Bhatt and my colleagues Yashtiresh and Vishal are going to present in front of you. Our topic is Arctic Tundra. First of all, what is tundra? In physical geography, tundra is a type of biome where the trees' growth is hindered by low temperature and short growing seasons. Tundra vegetation is composed of dwarf shrubs, sedges and grasses, mosses and lichens. Scattered trees grow in some tundra regions. There are three regions and associated types of tundra: Arctic tundra, alpine tundra, and Antarctic tundra. Now I would like to explain you what is basically a tundra. The tundra is a treeless polar desert found in the high latitudes in the polar regions, primarily in Canada, Russia, Greenland, Iceland, as well as sub-Antarctic islands. The region's dry, long winters featured months of total darkness and extremely frigid temperatures.
Discuss about the Arctic Tundra. Yeah, Arctic Tundra, and the first six slides are of my part of explanation. And basically, Tundra means it is derived from the Russian term Kilim Sami, which means the uplands or treeless mountain tracts, which is derived from that. And Arctic Tundra occurs in the far northern hemisphere, north of the taiga belt. The word tundra actually refers only to the areas where the subsoil is permafrost, which means the land is covered by ocean or water, or otherwise it is more than 2 to 3 years is maintained under 0 degree temperature or permanently frozen soil. It may also refer to the treeless plain. Arctic tundra contains areas of stark landscape and is frozen for much of the year. The soil there is frozen from 25 to 90 centimeters down, making it possible for trees to grow. Yeah, you can see the photos of Arctic tundra. Yeah, the location of Arctic tundra is that can be found in the northern parts of the North America, Europe, and Asia. Most of the region is found within the Arctic Circle and above the edge of the coniferous forest latitude 60° north in Canada and Siberia, and latitude 70° north in the other countries. While the Arctic tundra is confined to only the areas near the North Pole, other areas that are part of the tundra biome can be found in Antarctica and certain cold. Those are called as Antarctica tundra. That the part which of this tundra biome is found in the Antarctica and which is cold is called as Antarctica tundra, and the other one is alpine tundra. The biome tundra is divided in three types, that is Arctic, Antarctica, and alpine tundra. Mountains region alpine tundra. The mountain region part of the biome is called as alpine tundra. True to its name, the Arctic tundra is part of the tundra biome, which is very large, taking up over 20% of the Earth's surface. Unfortunately, the Arctic tundra is shrinking as a result of climatic change. The increasing temperatures are causing the permafrost to melt, which is the yeah, you can see in the map, the blue color marked one is the Arctic tundra biome. What is life like in the Arctic tundra? How the life in the Arctic tundra? Since the Arctic tundra has such a harsh climate, there is also a very low number of people that live there, less than 4 million. Despite this, various native tribes have called the tundra their home for a long time. For example, the peoples in Canada and Greenland, the people that have lived here historically relied on, and many still practice a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, following herds of animals or hunting marine animals and fishing and gathering eggs of birds and various tundra plants to eat. Though there are not so many plants can be seen there, only lichens and the small plants are seen in the Arctic tundra because of the permafrost formed on the land and the lower temperature which hinders the growth of the plants. So, hence, huge modernization to many people's way of life, such as more often using snowmobiles than sled dogs. Many groups are keeping their traditions alive to this day because of the tourism. Some people what some people besides the people that do live there. They depend upon the tourism. The Arctic tundra also has some human migrants that visit for tourism, from anything to seeing northern lights in the winter or coming to see the incredible migrant bird population for resource extraction of fossil fuels and various minerals, and for the research. Finally, the characteristics of the Arctic tundra has several distinct features that make it a unique habitat. Mainly along with the tourism, the other distinct features that makes it as a unique habitat. The permafrost, barren landscape, and cool or dry climate of the Arctic tundra are all important characteristics of Arctic tundra.
Characteristic. The Arctic tundra has several distinct features that make it a unique habitat. The firm forest and barren landscape and cold, dry climate of the Arctic tundra are all important characteristics. Okay, Arctic tundra. The tundra which belongs to only snow, that is snow area. We have to discuss about characteristic in these places we have seen about snow bears that we are founded animals. Change case. Okay. Permafrost, frozen ground. What is permafrost? Permafrost means on the earth. Uh, uh, on the earth, we have to see very unique particular places. Okay. The thin layer of the top soil in the Arctic tundra withdraws during the summer months, but beneath that the ground is permanently frozen. To put it in perspective, the deepest you could be, even in the warmest summer months, will be about 100 meters deep. Everything will be frozen solid. Permafrost currently covers the upper, but this amount is shrinking rapidly due to increasing in global temperatures. Recently, scientists discovered that in the Arctic tundra, for permafrost reason, high nitrogen and phosphorus contents is found. It was interesting note also. Okay, change the page. Barren landscape. What is barren landscape? It is look like dry, and trees are very less for compared to Asian desert. But in Asian desert, we found soil. But in Arctic tundra, Antarctic regions, Arctic regions, we have to found only snows. One of the factors that define the Arctic tundra is the barren landscape of the biome. In fact, the habitat only starts northward of the Taiga biome forest boundary. Since the ground is frozen in the tundra, most plants are not able to grow their roots beneath the topsoil or receive enough nutrition from the soil to sustain their growth. The plants that are able to grow are usually small in the height and sprawl across the ground, giving the tundra a barren landscape. The summer is very short in the tundra, which also lead to increasing global temperature. The summer is very short in the tundra, which also lead to increasing plant to grow. Okay, the Arctic tundra is the coldest and driest place on the planet. Yes, in Arctic tundra, only it belongs to only snows, very coldest. Minus 70 degree, minus 180 degrees are Celsius also present in this region. In the tundra, that fall and spring seasons are basically non-existent, living only two seasons, winter and summer. Okay, how about winter in Arctic tundra? During the winter, it is very cold and dark. with the average temperature around minus 28 degrees Celsius. Sometimes dipping as low as minus 50 degrees Celsius. However, extreme cold temperature on the tundra do not drop as low as those experienced in the taiga areas further south. For example, Russian and Canada's lowest temperature were recorded in location south of the tree line. The winter season is incredibly long, about 8 months. Since the Arctic tundra is very close to the North Pole, the nights are very long. At the deepest point in the winter, the sun may be gone for several weeks straight. Okay, what about in summer? The summer season is very short in the Arctic tundra, but in Asian countries, African countries, the summer is very long. In my India's highest summer was found in Rajasthan, Ganganagar. Yes, the temperature is much warmer and usually ranges somewhere between 3 degrees and 12 degrees Celsius. And remarkably characteristic of the Arctic tundra are the long days of the summer months. At the height of the summer, the days last a full 24 hours. If it weren't for this short 2 month period, the Arctic tundra would not be a suitable habitat for animals and plants to survive. But in India, according to India, it is belong to 48 and 50 degrees Celsius summers we are found it.
Flora or plants. So, what type of plants can be found in the Arctic tundra? Due to the permafrost in the Arctic tundra, plants that extend their roots deep into the soil, for example trees, are unable to grow. Despite the barren nature of the Arctic landscape and harsh condition of the tundra biome, there are several amazing plants that call the Arctic tundra home. Plants with shallow roots that sprawl across the ground or can grow on a rocky terrain can survive in the tundra. Lichen is an ideal example for the tundra because it is able to grow on rocks or other places with very little soil and can withstand freezing temperatures for long period of time. Interestingly, lichen is a combination of algae and fungus which act as a symbiotic relationship. So basically, in a lichen, the algal component provides food to the fungal component and fungal component provides shelter to the algal component. Let's know about flora or plants. Approximately there are 1,700 species of plants live on the Arctic tundra, including flowering plants, dwarf shrubs, and herbs. The tundra is characterized by the permafrost, a layer of soil and partially decomposed organic matter that is frozen year round. The tundra is patchy, low to ground vegetation consisting of small shrubs, grasses, mosses, all of which are better adapted to withstand tundra conditions. So here are some examples of flowers or plants which grow in Arctic tundra. The next is fauna or animals. So what kind of animals or fauna can be found in the Arctic tundra? Overall, there are approximately 50 different species of animals that are able to call the Arctic tundra their home. The population of animal in the Arctic tundra is very dynamic because only a few species can survive in the winter in the Arctic tundra. Therefore, in summer months, there tend to be a lot more animals than winter. This is due to the fact that many animals, caribou, polar bears, and birds like the Arctic tern or harlequin duck, choose to migrate south during the winters. Some animals like the musk oxen, lemmings, and the Arctic fox have adapted to survive the long and harsh conditions. So basically, what type of fauna or animals can be found in the Arctic regions? As there is much cold, not all animals can survive in that region. So the animals who have a thick layer of fat in their body are able to survive in the Arctic tundra. For example, we can say that we see polar bears or the snow leopards which can be found in the cold regions. So that type of animals can be found in the Arctic tundra. Here are some animals: the reindeers, then the fox, rabbit, polar bears, seal, etc., or walrus. Arctic tundra food chain. So, what is a food chain? Food chain in ecology, the sequence of transfer of matter and energy in the form of food from organism to organism. Food chains intertwine locally into the food web because most organisms consume more than one type of animal or plant. In a predator chain, plant eating animals is eaten by a flesh eating animals. The food chain in the Arctic tundra consists of predators such as owls, foxes, wolves, and polar bears at the top of the chain. Predator hunts herbivorous plant eating animals such as caribou, lemmings, and hares. Mosquitoes, flies, moths, grasshoppers, Arctic bumblebears, and other insects are the bottom of the Arctic food chain. Many birds feeds on these insects. So as we know, basically in a food chain, the all the organisms depends upon each other. The carnivorous depends on the herbivorous, and herbivorous depends on the plants for their survival. Let's understand by the example the plant. The herbivorous animals or small animals depends on the plants for their food. For example, the snow fox and snow rabbit, they eat grass, and then the snow rabbit is eaten by snow fox, and later the snow foxes are eaten by polar bears or big animals. What is food web of Arctic tundra? So basically, let us understand what food web actually is. A food web or a food cycle is a natural interconnection of food chains and graphical representation, usually an image of what eats what in an ecological community. Another name of food web is consumer resource system. Some of the organic matter eaten by heterotrophs such as sugar provides energy. A generalized food web for Arctic tundra begins with various plant species, all the plants which are producers. Herbivorous, which are primary consumers, such as pikas, musk, oxen, caribou, lemmings, and Arctic hares, make up the next rung. Omnivorous and carnivorous, which are secondary consumers, such as Arctic fox, brown bears, Arctic wolves, and snowy owls, top of the web. Bacteria and fungi play the important role of breaking down the organic material and returning nutrients to the soil for reuse, of course. The exact species involved in this web vary depending upon the geographical location. As we saw, Arctic tundra can be found in many places. So, in every places, there are different animals which depends on many various animals for their food. Here, we can see the food web. So, the Arctic willow and the purple saxifrage and the grass and sedges, Arctic hair pellets. All these things are eaten by the primary consumers, which are Arctic hare, and then the Arctic hare, which is a primary consumer, which is a herbivore, is eaten by snowy owl or ermine or the fox or the wolf, which are omnivorous or carnivorous. So like this, we depend on each other for our food and for our life cycle, or we can say our food chain can be described by this. And later, all the fox or the owl is eaten by a hunter, that is man. And later, when the man dies, the bacteria decomposes them and they reuse all the nutrients which is provided by the man. The human presence. Not many people are able to live in the Arctic tundra, especially areas of the habitat that lie closer to the North Pole. In certain areas of Alaska and Canada, there are rather large settlements of humans. The Arctic tundra also has a rich history for the Aboriginal people of North America because the tundra is a home of the Inuit peoples. The Inuit peoples had to make their own adaptation for living in the Arctic tundra. So, what all things are there for the people, and how people or how the families survive in the Arctic tundra. So first of all, by the copper ionate living in a regions with large copper deposits. Second is the nestic ionate living in the Arctic coast. Nestic actually means people of the place where there is seal or igloo. So that building igloo for the shelter in the snowy landscape, and the igloo provides shelter to the people. Western Arctic Inuit living near the river. So from the river, they can get the fish or some marine animals for their survival or for their food as their food.
A walk in the Arctic. It is one of the coldest places on Earth. Snow and ice are everywhere. Let's take a walk through the Arctic and see what wintry wonders we find. You'll need your snowshoes to explore the Arctic. Most of the land is snowy and freezing. Look around. Do you see any trees? This part of the Arctic is called the tundra. Here, it is too cold for trees to grow. Now we see the icy Arctic Ocean. Huge mountains of ice, called icebergs, float in the water. Believe it or not, some special animals live in this freezing place. And we can find them if we look closer. In chilly Arctic waters, we find a white whale. It's called a beluga whale, and it swims under the ice. When it needs to come up for air, it can break the ice with its head. Harp seals swim in cold Arctic waters too. Luckily, both seals and whales have a thick layer of fat called blubber that keeps them warm. This baby seal builds up its fat by drinking its mother's rich milk. Here come Arctic foxes. They don't seem to mind the cold. They have thick fur coats. They even have fur on the bottoms of their feet and in between their toes. Now we see a snowy owl. This graceful bird is a great hunter because of its amazing hearing. It can hear a little mouse moving under a pile of snow. You might not notice this Arctic hare at first. The hare's white fur is camouflage. Camouflage is a pattern or color that helps an animal blend in with its surroundings. And it's a good thing that the Arctic hare can hide. The clever Arctic wolf is trying to hunt it. However, the Arctic wolf's fur is camouflaged too. It can hide in the white snow and sneak up on the hare. But the ruler of the Arctic is this great white bear. Do you know its name? It's a polar bear, the largest kind of bear on Earth. And we better stay out of its way. Now our walk through the Arctic is ending. So take off your snowshoes and take one last look at this magical frozen land and the awesome animals that live here.